is just one of the many factors that can affect your performance. In the 1992 Olympic Games, Sally Gunnell won a gold medal for Britain in the 400 metres hurdles. Eating the right food played a big part in her success.
She won't mind a little bit about that.
At the end of the day, if you go into a major challenge or you're going down to train and you know that you've had a really good, healthy breakfast, you think, right, I'm raring to go, and it's a mind game as well as anything else.
Sally, like Linford, feeds her mind as much as her body. But where Linford likes to say, who cares, let's eat, she's thought hard about her diet and believes food is the one thing that can make her faster.
I decided to change my diet really after the Olympics, after winning that gold medal. It was a case of, okay, right, I've got this far, I want to move on to the next stage, and the next stage was to break the world record, and I really believed that I could, but I was trying to work out ways of trying to, make that extra, hundredths of a second that I needed to do it. And the diet was an area that I'd never ever really looked in on. I always thought I ate pretty well, not too bad, not too many biscuits and chocolates and things like that. But it wasn't until I met a nutritionist, Eric, that he sort of went through everything and said, okay, right, you're not dieting to lose weight. The hardest thing here is it's really to get this energy. And he told me to eat as much natural ingredients as possible, which haven't been tampered with chemicals or pesticides or anything like that. And by getting as much natural energy as in there, it's really creating that boost.
You've got 2 more runs. Come on.
For Sally, the diet works. A year after winning the Olympic gold for the 400-metre hurdles, she broke the world record.
Woo. I literally, overnight, noticed a difference, and I was very sort of open about it. I thought, I'm not sure I'm going to really notice that much different, but I did. I woke up in the morning, and I just felt more clear, I think, in my mind. I felt as though I was like, right, okay, I'm ready. I mean, it used to take me a good sort of hour and a half to really get up and get going in my training, and now I can literally be up out of bed, dressed, within 20 minutes, and I can do a really good session.
Now you've watched that clip, answer the following question. Why did Sally Gunnell decide to change her diet if she didn't need to lose weight? Remember, you can pause and rewind the tape if you want to watch the clip again. Here are 2 ways that you could have answered. Sally Gunnell changed her diet because her times had levelled out and she was looking to improve her performance. She wanted to find ways of losing vital fractions of a second required to beat the world record in the women's 400 metres hurdles. Another way to answer would have been as follows. She wanted to improve her energy levels and was advised by a dietitian to eat more natural products. Expecting your body to run on junk food is like trying to run a car on poor-grade petrol. Just like the car, your body will eventually grind to a halt. To perform well, you need to eat nutritious foods that supply your body with the fuel it needs.
I am a keen addict of banana sandwiches on brown bread. What I tend to do is just look at the foods that I'm eating prior to the competition and eat sensibly, really, is the key thing.
He needs lots of high-energy food to fuel his powerful and highly competitive performances.
I enjoy it when my mum comes round and have lunch on the afternoon, especially soup. That's really nice. She's got in it pumpkins, bananas, potatoes, chicken, kidney beans, and just about everything, I'll be surprised if, one day I'll put the spoon in the pot and pull out the kitchen sink or something like that,
Wilf's mum's soup is a high-energy, high-carbohydrate meal, and it's delicious anytime, not just before international championships.
As a speed skater, Wilf O'Reilly needs to have a high-energy diet. Which food group will supply this? Remember, you can pause and rewind the tape to view the clip again if you want to. So how did you do with the last question? The answer is that speed skater Wilf O'Reilly needs a diet high in carbohydrates. But just how much carbohydrate does the body need? Can we have too much or too little? Watch this and think about the benefits and drawbacks of eating this type of food.
Foods like bread, like pasta, rice, cereals are not fattening foods. Okay, and they're a very good source of carbohydrate and energy, and also vitamins and minerals. You're on the bottom of the trio, so you've got to have enough strength to hold everyone up, haven't you?
Yeah. When we exercise, we use up calories and expend the body's energy stores, which have to be replaced by food. And it's the carbohydrates in that food that the body extracts and stores in the form of glycogen, which can be released as energy when it's needed. So, carbohydrate is the body's high-energy fuel.
Yes, my love. White one? Yes, please.
The muscles have their own glycogen stores, and it's those glycogen stores we're drawing on when we exercise. During competition, Wilf O'Reilly's body will burn up huge amounts of glycogen. He needs to eat plenty of carbohydrate.
Even though the longest distance I skate is 3,000 metres, we compete over 3 days. Chocolate bars aren't really advisable prior to competition because even though they do give you energy, then there's also a relapse, sort of like, can be half an hour afterwards. So obviously if you're competing over 3 days, you don't want to relapse half an hour after eating a chocolate bar.
Top of the table, it's a natural law. Always top up your glycogen score. If your glycogen's low, you win no race. When your glycogen's out, you fall flat on your face. You want to stay fit, you want to stay cool. More carbohydrates is the rule. You want to stay fit, you want to stay cool. More carbohydrates is the rule.
So is carbohydrate the only thing we can eat for health? Well, of course not. The food we eat is in 3 main types: carbohydrate, protein and fat. And we need to eat a balance of all 3 for health. Is this plateful a balanced meal?
So today I'm eating pizza, peas and chips and a donut. I know it's all fatty and all that, and it's not doing any good for me, but I just eat it anyway, because I know it all just gets burnt up somehow, so don't bother me.
Carbohydrates are the most important food group for sport, as unlike oils and fats, they can be broken down quickly and used to provide the energy the body needs to keep going. Carbohydrates can be found in foods like bread, pasta and rice. Once carbohydrates are in the body, glucose is created in the form of glycogen. This is transported in the bloodstream to working muscles. The speed skater needs a store of energy that can be burnt up quickly during the race, so he eats plenty of carbohydrates beforehand to supply his muscles with the energy they need. This is called carbo-loading. It's a technique used by many athletes before competition. The next important food group is proteins. Proteins are found in animal products such as lean meat, milk, eggs and cheese. Proteins can also be found in vegetable sources like nuts and beans. Protein is vital for body growth. It strengthens muscles and is essential in repairing damaged tissue. Here's a food group that's often seen as a problem in our diet. Fat is often seen as something we don't need, but a certain amount of fat is essential for a healthy body. For an athlete, fat provides a source of energy that can be stored for slow release. It also provides a valuable insulating layer under the skin so we can keep warm. Fats come from 2 sources. First, there are vegetable fats taken from plants like sunflowers or nuts. Olive oil and margarine are examples. Then there are fats taken from animals. This includes butter and cream taken from cow's milk. It's important not to confuse the fat we need in a balanced diet with getting fat or being overweight through overeating. Next, fibre. Fruits, vegetables and breakfast cereals such as bran and muesli all contain fibre. It's an essential part of a healthy diet because it cannot be digested, so as it travels through the intestines, it helps clear out all the waste products that the body no longer needs. Vitamins and minerals help to keep the body healthy. Only small quantities are needed and they can be found in all the food groups we eat. Vitamins and minerals are also present in isotonic drinks that help replace the minerals lost through sweating. Then there's water, the most crucial element for a healthy body. In the next clip, basketball players describe the importance of replacing lost fluids.
They are the Sheffield Sharks, and they are one of the most successful teams in the National Basketball League. Now, 2 seasons ago, they did the double. Last season, they won the Uniball Trophy. I mean, these guys, they're just the business. And you can see they're working up a bit of a sweat. But you can work up a bit of a sweat as well by doing very little. Now, this half-litre bottle of water represents the amount of sweat that you and I would produce just sitting around at home watching TV. Absolutely amazing. So our man David Bull is here to tell us a little bit more. I have to say, David, I'm working up a sweat just watching them.
So am I, and that is what you produce, as you say, in a day, which is pretty incredible.
So why do we sweat then?
Well, it's a fantastic process. It's very, very clever. Basically, the body has to stay at a constant temperature. I don't know if you're aware of that, 37 degrees.
Right.
If we get too hot, then all the chemical reactions that go on in our bodies, all the enzymes that do those reactions, start to break down. And so the body employs this very clever mechanism. So you then sweat, the sweat then evaporates, and that cools you down, which I think is pretty clever.
OK, now we were showing the little half-litre bottle of water a little bit earlier. What on earth does this lot represent here?
Well, if you look, there are 6 of them playing a game for 40 minutes. I've been reading up on my basketball.
You are the Michael Jordan of the really useful show, aren't you,
obviously.
yes.
They're going to sweat about 2 litres each in a 40-minute game. So that means that there's going to be 12 litres, which is 24 half-litres, which is this much in a game.
Boy, that's an awful lot of water. I would suggest that one of them probably needs a little bottle now. So let's go and have a chat with them now, David. If we walk down here, we can try and interrupt Mike in between his game. Oh, he's a busy man as well. He's a very busy man. Michael, let's see. We'll give you some water. Now, I can see you've got on a bit of a sweat there, which is absolutely brilliant. You're playing some great stuff there. How do you guys keep it off? I mean, how much water would you drink during a game?
Well, what we try and do is use the natural breaks in the game to, get some water and get some fluids inside us. But we only take a few sips at a time because, if you have too much, you're simply going to get a stitch or it's going to roll around in your stomach and it's going to distract you. So try and get a few sips in, every time out.
Is that right for people who are taking exercise?
He's a trained athlete, so he knows what he's doing. I mean, do you actually calculate how much you need, or do you think, oh, this is about right for me?
During a game, you don't really have time to judge it. You just go on your instinct there. But actually, when we're in a gym, we can, actually take our weight and then weigh ourselves after the game, after practice as well.
Yeah.
So and that way we can actually calculate how much water we actually need.
I mean, what we are talking about here is people who are very fit.
Yeah.
We're not talking about people who are medically unfit. So it's quite a good rule of thumb that you really should be replacing probably a litre over an hour and a quarter, about that sort of the pace. But if you've got heart disease or something like that, you need to be far more careful. But you're obviously not going to be playing energetic basketball either. So.
No, indeed. And what about at the end? I mean, do you really pile up the water at the end?
Yeah, we try to. I try and drink at least a pint within the hour of water, and just keep drinking until I've satisfied that I've actually been rehydrated, so that the next day we can carry on training at a high level.
Now, here's another question for you. How do athletes calculate the amount of fluid lost during activity? Pause now to answer the question and rewind the tape if you want to see those clips again. Now, here are the points you should have mentioned in your answer. Athletes can find out how much fluid they've lost by weighing themselves before and then after activity. The difference in their weight represents how much fluid they've lost. Water is essential for the body to work. Around 75% of body weight is made up of it, so it's really important that lost fluid is replaced during activity. When exercising, the body will need 2 to 3 litres more water than normal. But not all fluids replace what you've lost. Fizzy drinks, alcohol, tea and coffee all dehydrate the body, so try to avoid them before or during exercise. So to recap on food groups, carbohydrates supply energy. Proteins allow growth and repair of body tissue. Fat stores energy and provides warmth. Finally, fibre helps waste disposal.
Diet is so very important within a training programme, especially when we swim over 250 lengths each training session. That's just over 2 hours work. We need to have an awful lot of carbohydrate in our diet. That's simply potato, pasta, rice, but variety is so very important. Variety, of course, the spice of life.
It's not just the type of food we eat that affects our performance, but also the balance of what we eat. To achieve a balanced diet, about 50% of our intake should be carbohydrate, 35% fat, and 15% protein. Those who need muscle strength, for example a weightlifter, may increase the amount of protein in their diet to build up more muscle. Athletes who need endurance, such as marathon runners, may increase their carbohydrate intake to get them through a race. Here are some more questions to test your knowledge. Question 1. What is a balanced diet? Question 2. What nutrient does the body need more of in a balanced diet? And question 3. Vitamins, minerals and fibre are 3 elements of a balanced diet. Name the 4 other requirements. Pause the tape and have a go at these questions, and when you've finished, press play. OK, now the answers. First, the answer to question 1. A balanced diet gives enough food for energy, plus the right proportions of nutrients and fibre. And the answer to question 2. In a balanced diet, the body needs more carbohydrates. Finally, the answer to question 3. The other requirements for a balanced diet are carbohydrates, proteins, fats, and water. Before you take your exam, you need to remember these key points on diet. Make sure you know all the main food types and the effect they have on the body. In your exam, you'll be expected to name at least 2. And make sure you understand what makes a balanced diet. That's the amount of each food type we need to eat to stay healthy. Remember, there's more information, interactive exercises and exam questions on the GCSE Bitesize website at www.bbc.co.uk/revision. Now's a good time to take a break, but if you want, you can carry on with the next part of your revision.
It's not just what you do inside the gym that's important, it's your lifestyle out of gym. You've got to eat as well as you can and get as much sleep as you can and keep healthy.